All right, guys. So I've got Linda back on the channel, and it's great to see her. She's really doing well. She's launching her third book.
Fourth, actually.
Fourth, actually. Yeah,
fourth. Yes, it was. I've been a little crazy.
She's been a little crazy, but she's also got to work. And as you know, in the previous interviews we did, Linda is a really big fan of, animals. The context she writes around her books is very in tune with her. And there's always a meaning and a narrative that Linda wants to spread, which actually goes to show how people and animals can work together in terms of the stories they share. And Linda's going to tell us about her upcoming book called Limitless. And she is going to tell us why she's writing another book. But she did mention that she wants to cut down on her writing and actually help other authors who also need help. So this is an all-round interview. We're going to talk about Limitless. I think it's great. It's her fourth book. And, she's on a roll. And as you know, in my previous interviews, Linda has a journey to share. She's not only writing these books, but she's also an entrepreneur, and she's mixing this all together to share your story. So do give some support to Linda. Do follow her. She is an incredible author. She has done a lot. I know that she's come from a journey of her background in her life as a writer, as an author, to an entrepreneur. So let's all support the entrepreneurs out there. Let's give Linda the backing that she needs. So Linda, it's great to have you.
Thanks for having me back. This is awesome. I think this is the fourth time we're meeting up.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
We are on a roll. I am on a roll. All the ideas are filtering into my brain and coming out through my fingers and onto the keyboard and out into the atmosphere. So it's really exciting. And sort of the atmosphere is how I came about Limitless. If you see behind me, you see Mildred as an astronaut. And that was, I did that specifically for this book.
Wow. Okay.
I had a lot of kids, and myself included, being told that they won't amount to something that they want, that their dreams are limited. And I just saw Mildred wanting to go to space camp. She's all about the science. She doesn't lack confidence. She's always championing her friends to reach for the stars. And this time her confidence is shaken. And it's the first time it's ever happened.
And just going back to my audience, with the previous interviews we did, this is your fourth series about George and Mildred and their adventures. And you try to share their adventures in different ways. So let's just remind the audience of the books you've written. And
sure, yeah, I have them here beside me because I never leave home without them. This book is the first one. It's The Attack of the Meanie Girls, and this was when I first moved to Scotland. My dog here, his real name is KO for knockout because he's a boxer.
He's a boxer,
and his best friend who he meets here, Smudge the Yorkie, who we've nicknamed George and Mildred after the UK television series. Amazing. But this is all about bullying, because the girl dogs next door were terrorizing mine, and he was running away in fear. He's a big dog. You don't expect him to be timid, but that's exactly what he is. And Mildred is anything but timid.
And that narrative and that storyline was around bullying in terms of basically facing up to your bullies.
Yeah, and having support. I think it's very important to tell people what's going on. Mildred knew exactly what to do for George. Parents, guardians, teachers, the bullying, it's getting bigger and bigger because it's gone out of the classroom and the schoolyard and into people's houses.
Yes.
So just to get that conversation going. And the story is told between two dogs, and our animals are basically mirrors of us.
Yes,
George is like me. I'm like George. I had fear, don't have fear any longer.
And you can face up to your bullies.
I stood up for myself.
And you can face up
and sometimes sometimes you're a bully to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
There's always that little voice in the back of your head saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You're not good enough. And I wanted to reach kids and tell them that that is not true. Like, you're more than enough. You're worthy. You're
more
loved.
than good enough.
Exactly. Yes. So it's all about empowerment. The next book is Life's a Beach.
Right.
And George
is on the beach.
True life. Yeah.
On an adventure.
This is true life. He has to wear a life vest wherever he goes. He's fallen into swimming pools, but he steps out of his fear to save Mildred.
Wow. Okay.
At this beach of adventure. And then the third book, Let's Tango.
Let's Tango. Yeah. I remember
family,
that one.
Love, acceptance. Hector comes into the community and thinks that he has to give up his love of tango dancing. The dog's original name was Tango, so that's how I incorporated it.
That's how it
is. And he came from Spain. And it's all about not giving up the part of yourself that makes you unique in order to fit in. Because your family doesn't have to be blood. Mm-hmm. It's the people that you gather around you who you love and who loves you.
That's amazing. And now you're launching your 4th series, which we're going to talk about, right? It's called Limitless. And
yes,
let's get underway. Tell me about why you decide to launch your 4th book called Limitless, and what's the story behind it. Let's chat about that.
The story behind it all came from this painting.
The
astronaut, and it's just shooting for the stars, going after your dreams. I was told when I was younger that I would never amount to anything in the writing field by an English teacher. And while that could have deterred me, that sort of spurred me on to prove her wrong.
That's very important.
Yeah, and I don't like hearing messages of what people can't do. It's what you can do. It's what is possible. And if you have a dream, you work towards it. Yeah. The dream, say Mildred had a dream of going into space. Mildred may not go into space, but she can go towards that dream and it can transfer into something else. I think she'll do it because she's that determined. But when she loses her confidence, her friends step around her and they believe in her until she can believe in herself again.
And that's kind of like what's going on in the real life is people should go and, take their dreams on. They've got to go. And I love the way you've written a book around this in terms of what you've done and how this is happening in real life as well. People are let down. Sometimes they're knocked over, whatever it is in their life. And they need to go out and face their dreams and take it on.
Yes, because for this mirrors my journey, because I moved to Scotland. People thought I was nuts. They thought I had gone off my rocker.
I remember.
Yes. And my brother recently came to visit and he saw how happy I was here.
Right. Okay.
And what I've done and the people that I've gathered around me. I have the support. Mm-hmm. My friends tell me that anything is possible, that Limitless will be a bestseller, and just gathering around me and believing in me.
And we all believe in you, Linda, because I think, the journey you're taking is I love the way that your everyday challenges and problems in people's lives is kind of reflected in your books, bullying, facing your dreams, Let's Tango. These are real stories that are being presented in your book in that sense, which I love.
Yeah, and especially Let's Tango. I had a school reach out. They had gotten this as a gift.
Okay.
I read the book and their P5 class wrote to me, and it's in a really knocked down area of Scotland in West Lothian. And there's a lot of foster kids. Right. And I wanted to know how it resonated with them. And they were just so pleased to see themselves represented in a book. Yeah, I was a little shy in introducing the whole fostering thing because I haven't been through it. I'm not a foster kid, but I know people who work with them, and they are limitless. Yeah. Even though with the hand that they've been dealt. It's not their doing, it's just life circumstances, and finding those people who will embrace and accept you.
The book basically speaks for itself, doesn't it? The book basically, speaks for itself, and it really sells itself in that way. So let's go on to the next question. Why did you decide to launch another book? Why did you?
I have so many ideas in my head that I want to get out, and I thought that this book.
Let's limit it.
Yes, well, it needed to be out there because I'd heard from a lot of kids who are a bit downtrodden by individuals in their life in telling them that they can't do something. I got those messages throughout my life where you shouldn't do that, you're going to fail. Well, how do you know I'm going to fail?
That's very, very true.
And failure is not the end all and be all. It's a stepping stone. It's what you took a step, it didn't work out, you regroup and you try again. And you go in another. Going. Yeah, you just keep going. You have to pick yourself back up. I would be long gone if I let every failure in my life set me back.
And you wouldn't have written your books where you are now, right? You wouldn't have been an author. You might have been someone else. Or
I had someone who believed in me before I could believe in myself.
Okay, that's really important. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
an emotional topic.
It is. I'm getting teary. Like anytime that I read a book, I said this before, there's one line that pops up and there's one line that pops up here. There's one funny line that I laugh every time I read it out loud. But it's where Mildred's friends rally around and they create a list of what makes Mildred great.
Right.
And she hugs herself and says, I really am awesome, aren't I? And it's that infusion of
feel good
confidence.
Factor.
Yeah, like all it takes is a kind word to lift someone's day. Yeah, or a hug to transfer that energy and that healing to someone else who's having a hard time.
Yeah, and I kind of feel where you're coming from because I'm getting a little bit emotional, but I'm trying to keep myself in place. But I think failure is a mental health thing that people face. And it's it's becoming more and more apparent today as well, what people are going through. Failure can be in different terms, different meanings.
Yeah. And for me, failure does not have the big impact that it used to have. I always thought I would fail. I was told I would fail. And I want to get the message out that this is not the end all and be all. You made a mistake. It's a happy accident. Something good can come from it.
And you're launching your 4th book, right? It's Limitless, which is now going to be live on order on Amazon. The pre-sale in August.
Yes, working my way up. I've got all of the illustrations done. It's in layout form now. And it's just, I can't wait for it all to come together. And like in previous books, I have the story behind the story. So why I wrote it, it's for the parents. Yeah. And it just gives a little insight and just something positive to hold on to.
So for all parents, like on my channel and people following me, Linda, this is her 4th series. So do go on Amazon, do check her out. We'll add her LinkedIn page as well. Do reach out to her because, she is on a roll. And I'm sure for every parent, there might be some sort of connection there where your children are going through, those journeys as well as what me and Linda have discussed. So it's kind of important to see it like that. So how do you see people learning from your books? Where do you want to take this in a sense? What do you want people to learn?
Well, I've been going out to schools in person now that the restrictions are a little less.
Yes.
So I've been going out to schools, getting feedback from the kids. I've also linked up with a charity organization here in West Lothian called Spark, and they have a Craigs Hill Storytelling Festival. And it's all about empowerment, teaching children, having these lessons through fun. You don't want to give them, this is the moral of the lesson, because I would shut off. You
Yeah.
don't tell people what to do. You sort of lead them in the direction. And I say it's like giving little breadcrumbs, giving little hints, and having them draw their own conclusions, having them do their own drawings, their own little stories. And so I want my big goal is to reach millions of children across the world, whether it's through my stories or the stories from the authors that I work with. I think everyone has a story.
And you're getting there, right? Your goal is getting there. You're going to schools and you're actually presenting, or you're going to workshops and you're actually presenting your work out to big authors and people out there, right?
Yeah, and it's not just my work. I want to partner with other authors as well to get their stories out, because every story has a
meaning.
It has a meaning, it has to have the meaning for the author, or they won't write it in the first place. And sometimes people get stuck in the how.
And that's important, because if it doesn't come from you, and if it doesn't come from what you've gone through emotionally, because I can tell that you've gone through quite a bit, you can't write those books because there's no meaning to it. There has to be a meaning, right?
If you write a book about a topic that you haven't experienced, it's not going to have the same impact. It is basically preaching what you don't know.
True.
So you have to go through it first. And I think with people being authentic and raw and open these days, we really need that, because we have all of these messages of doom and gloom. We need a beacon of hope.
We do.
And that's where these authors come in.
That's so important. So my next question is where do you want to take your plan, or what's next for Linda in terms of launching you're obviously going to launch the pre-sale in August. Where are we going with your journey?
Well, I've got more books in me. I've got another book or story that I've written, and it's a riff off of an old nursery rhyme that my dad used to recite to me. So it has nothing to do with George and Mildred, which is...
So we're going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just, it's an old nursery rhyme my dad used to recite every time at bedtime. It made me laugh. So I sort of riffed off from there. I'm thinking about turning into a book. That's possibly a next step. Anything can happen. My main goal is to start to work with authors to bring their stories together. Because, like I said, sometimes you just don't know the how.
You don't know the how.
I've done this 4 or 5 times now, and I have a 5-step program process that these are the questions that you need to look at, like finding the breadcrumbs, leading the kids to the lesson. Don't have the parents solve it for them.
Yeah.
Have the characters solve the dilemma or the issue, and lead through pictures and keep language short and concise as possible. You don't have to describe everything in a scene. Let the pictures do the talking too, because it's a partnership.
And people like to look at those pictures, right, to give a meaning and learn from this.
And my illustrator is really good at combining my ideas with, say, in this one, this is Let's Tango. The orange curtain behind Mildred flying as an angel, the curtain behind her had to be orange, because I grew up with orange curtains. It was the 70s, orange curtains on every stage production. So that had special meaning, but it also had a meaning of the Indigenous people of Canada.
Wow, amazing. And I like the way you're working that in the book. You're not only just writing it, but you're actually using pictures as context to get people thinking that there is a reason why people buy your book. There is a reason why people turn to you, especially parents and children that you want to change hearts and minds of. And I think that's important, because a lot of children are lost today. You just talked about foster kids, and how important it is for an author like yourself to come forward.
Yeah, and sometimes parents are lost too because we don't come with an instruction book.
No, we don't. No.
My parents did the best they could with what they had. And
exactly.
Each generation, you just get a little bit better and a little bit better. And eventually we come to a point where everything, I don't want to say everything is rosy because we still have our issues, but we're more equipped to handle them.
Yes.
And I hope these books and the books that from other authors that I'm working with will help to get us closer to that goal.
Amazing.
Get people talking.
Get people talking, but also get people, there's a reason why you're an author in this sector. And I think with what you do, it's important that we use this for the common good, which is helping others out there.
It's all about helping others. Like anything that I've done, I've always been someone who wanted to help someone else. And whether I entered a career in healthcare, I always had the same goal. I wanted to help people. Now I've combined my love of writing with this, and now I want to help other authors get their voice out because their voice is important.
Yep. And you're a bestseller, right? You how did you get there?
Honestly, I don't know. The first book, I was like really, really excited that people were behind me, supporting me. I did not expect to get bestseller status.
Wow.
And I really should have. Like my belief should be up here.
Yeah.
And it's a done thing. I'm going to be a bestseller and that's it. And you work towards it and you just set your intention on that goal. The second book reached bestseller status.
Amazing.
Third book almost reached bestseller status. I was very, very close. I was going through a health challenge. So that was where my attention was laid.
There.
And I didn't even realize that I hadn't been focusing solely on the book because I had so much stuff in my head and what I was going through that I didn't even realize that I wasn't giving 100% to this.
That's amazing. And there's a reason behind everything, you know, and I think what's happened is your work has shown people that, you know, there is something that people need to hear and read in today. And that's why you're the bestseller on Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. My goal is, Limitless. The title speaks for itself.
Can't wait for
really.
That. Can't wait for that. We're all excited to see that, and I'm sure my audience, which is also growing quite fast, is I was on 30,000 followers when I last spoke to you. Now I'm on 32,000, and it's like,
it's going up, my friend.
It's going up.
You're doing it right.
I'm also a mental health advocate because everyone suffers from mental health, including myself a little.
Yes.
And it's your books, you know, it gives that help for others to relieve them.
We have to talk about mental health because it was such a taboo subject. Like mental health has existed
10 years ago. It was
50 years ago, 100 years ago,
50 years ago.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it. It was shoved under the carpet because you just don't talk about those things. You keep that in the family. And now it's like, I have suffered from anxiety and depression, and I don't like to say suffered. I lived with it.
Yeah.
And now I don't care who I tell.
You don't care,
because everyone has that little something, that little shameful secret in the background, and you shouldn't be feeling shame.
And maybe
everyone goes through this.
Everyone goes through it, and maybe that's why you became an author in that sense as well.
Yeah. Like I do a list of like a mantra that I say to myself whenever I need it, and it's, I am worthy, I am loved, I am smart, I am beautiful, I am capable, I am enough.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's great to have you, Linda, on the channel. I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. There's more meaning and reason to these interviews than anything that I've ever had with people, and yourself included is the journey you have taken. I'm sure the people that are tuning into this channel, please take a look at Linda's journey, because I think your children and their children are going to enjoy the books.
And not just that, if you have a story inside you that is dying to get out and it's always tapping you on the shoulder, that's a sign that you should do it. And I'm here to help every step of the way. I have a program that's come out. It's one-on-one mentorship. It's a Shape Your Children's story.
Amazing.
Learn from my experience.
Yeah.
Where I wrote the second book 5 times before I got it right. I don't want that for anyone else.
It's quite a lot to write it 5 times.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get it right. I wasn't happy with what I had, and then I just emptied my mind and
just went for it.
Sat down. Free writing is the best, but I can help you through every step of the process. And this mentoring, it's one-on-one. It's accountability. It's okay, what have you done this week?
Wow. And so you help those authors out there that need help. Okay.
Yeah, it's what I love to do. I found that I love writing the stories, but I love helping the authors get from their initial idea to the end result. And it might not look like anything that they set out to do originally, but because they put their heart and soul in it, it just moved it through and made it even better.
Wow, amazing. Linda, it's great to have you to hear your journey. Yep. Your book, Limitless, is coming out next month, so we can't wait to see that one. And you're on a roll, like I say. Yes. You said that you want to cut down a little bit now after this, or you...
I was obsessed with writing books and writing the George and Mildred series. I still have 3 ideas for other topics.
Okay.
I want to give as much attention to other authors and getting their message out. I think every voice is really important. Everyone has something to say and something to share. True. And if we can share the struggles that we have, the solutions we come up with, the hope that's
is important. Yeah. The hope is important. And I'm sure parents that out there that, have children, there is hope in reading your books, mm-hmm. right? That's the story you'd like to share. So thank you, Linda, for your time. Looking forward to your next book, and we'll certainly leave your bio on the LinkedIn post so that people can know where to go and purchase the book. It'll be on Amazon soon.
Yes.
And your contact details as well.
Perfect. And just if I can leave one thing with people, is that we believe in you until you can believe in yourself.
I feel like it's been an emotional interview, but it's...
I know. Yeah. I wasn't so emotional when I put on my makeup today.
It's amazing. Thank you, Linda, for your time, and we're looking forward to hearing more from you as well in the future as well.
Yeah, thanks. And Naz, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video interview. Linda, is an amazing entrepreneur. I know that she has come from a lot of battles, and she's really using herself to, especially her skills in what she does, to tell people, through her books, how they can help. So it's very important that we all try to support her. Thanks a lot, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.